Hello and welcome to Q Today, our show for March the 20th to the 23rd. I'm Ron Campbell, one of your hosts for today's show.
And I'm your other host, Mitch Vick. Here's a picture of Nancy Worobitz at Safeway Floral Department. She's looking like she had a good St. Patrick's Day. How about you, Ron? Did you have a good St. Pat's Day?
Faith and Bigorra, my man. Sure I did. The closest I ever came to being Irish was the Irish Spring soap. I'm Scottish and Métis, so there's no way I can be Irish also.
Got it.
But on St. Paddy's Day, anybody can be Irish, I understand. First of all, we'd like to thank all our viewers out there for watching us, and just to remind you that our weekday show runs from Tuesday at 5 p.m. to Friday at 8 a.m., and the weekend offering airs from Friday at 5 p.m. to Tuesday at 8 a.m. We broadcast every day at 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m. Mitch.
Before we get into the program, don't forget you can reach us by our new email, which is qtoday@qcatv.ca. And as always, thanks to the Quesnel Observer for providing some of our news stories. Autumn, Annie, and Tracy have been wonderful to work with. If you'd like some information on how to sponsor us, call Nate Bello at 250-992-3650.
And remember, we only give the highlights here on Q Today. For the full story, please purchase an exciting copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer.
So our first story. This is a follow-up from our last show regarding the Van Dyke and Gill trial, which is in progress at the Quesnel Supreme Court. A local witness, the woman who drove the alleged shooting victim, testified that the victim had only stated that he had been shot, but not by whom. The witness went on to state that the victim had banged on her door seeking assistance while she was at home with her 3 children. Upon answering the door, the witness had tried to call 911, but her phone cut out, so she directed the victim to her truck after having a look at the victim's bullet wound under his shirt. Jurors also heard from the RCMP Constable Hoover and Constable Harvey from Williams Lake, an indent specialist, both who were at the scene. The members had cleared the scene, during which they had found an undisturbed marijuana grow-up. The trial is expected to wrap up March 23rd, and we will continue to keep you appraised of the trial here at Q Today.
If the government decides to legalize marijuana, do you think this same type of action will continue?
I think it would definitely have a decriminalizing effect, not only in the law, but also organized crime would find it less attractive. I think from that perspective, it would be better.
I think so. And moving on to a different type of economy. Quesnel was founded, Mitch, as you know, on gold. And it was one of our mainstays for our economy, and it still is. And the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some time now, we've known that there's gold in them there hills. And gold fever, once again, is hitting Barkerville, where mining companies are pouring money into exploration, into mining, and now they are seeking investors. And according to the CEO of Windsor Gold Mining and Exploration, Inc., Adrian Laprise, the area has huge gold deposits that haven't even been discovered yet. He goes on to say that once they get onto the stock market, they will have a 5-year mining program on Canadian Creek. They plan on more exploration this year, and mining would begin in 2013. So if you're interested in investing, contact Adrian Laprise at 1-500-704-2857 or by email windsormining@yahoo.com. There you go, Mitch. There's where you can make your fortune.
Thanks, Ron. So our next story comes from our last council meeting on March the 12th, where a motion to have a reimbursement program for city residents who haul bulk water was narrowly defeated by a 4-3 margin. At the center of the issue is whether those in city limits who pay city taxes but are not connected to city water should have to pay for hauling water. City staff warned of the financial ripple effect if users within city limits would stop paying for bulk water. Staff confirmed that those residents who do not have access to city water do not pay towards the water fund. Councillor Tapar disagreed and argued that tax rates should reflect not having water service. and Councillor Cave recommended a trial period of no-cost bulk water for city residents without city water who use the bulk water, and then evaluate the costs associated with providing the bulk water. At Q Today, we'd like to know what you think. Should city residents be able to have a break on water, on the bulk water? Let us know at qtoday at qcatv.ca.
Mitch, I sat through that, and it's a difficult situation. Because if you do allow one, then what about all the others that are on wells? Putting in a service to there is going to be expensive. So I'm hoping that they can come up with something, because I do feel sorry for the resident. He's paying taxes, but he's also got to get bulk water. But then again, if you build somewhere and there's no water there, should the other residents of the city pick up the slack?
Yeah.
So it's a really a catch-22 situation.
It's a tough one, yeah.
Yeah. Shortly, we're going to be having Rick Hansen's journey here, and John McKenzie from Shaw will be covering it extensively for Channel 12. So watch the station for these events. On March 22nd of 2012 at Spirit Square, downtown Quesnel, there will be free entertainment, and between 1 and 4 at the Quesnel Junior School in the lower gym, you can try out wheelchair sports such as basketball, tennis, and rugby. Annie Gallant, once again, has an excellent article on Rick Hansen's 25th anniversary medal bearer relay. She's given outlines on the participants, on the exercise, on the activities, and on the ceremonies that are to be held. And don't forget, our own John McKenzie will be there to cover it all. So get out and take part in this event. Mitch.
Thanks, Ron. Next story we have here is about a new merchant who's joined the city. Bosley's, a premium pet store located in West Park Mall, will be hosting a grand opening on March 24th and March 25th. There will be special events like face painting and a visit by Bosley's mascot, who happens to be a big dog. Additionally, there will be some coupon specials, so be sure to check them out this weekend and support local business. I had an opportunity to visit the store on the weekend, Ron. Very beautiful store, very nice atmosphere, and the staff were very friendly.
It looks really good, and you wouldn't be going to the dogs by going to this store.
No, you wouldn't. Nope.
On the last program, we mentioned the seniors meeting that took place on March the 15th. Upcoming soon, I think that Nate Bello will be interviewing Peter Nelson, who is the new president for this new seniors group. This recently held meeting was held at the Senior Center, and there was over 78 people in attendance. Several issues were discussed, but 3 key issues came forward. The first one was housing. There is very little housing here for seniors. There's a waiting list at Mayford Place, at Wildwood, and at Dunroven. And I have had 3 friends of myself and my wife that have moved to Prince George to go to Prince George Chateau, because there was no other place available here locally. The second one was the 12 hospital beds that are here at the hospital, and these should be opened, because I don't know if you know this, or Mitch, but do you know what they call people that are in the hospital that are not well enough to leave, to go home, and there's no place to put them, say at Dunroven? They're called, of course, I got to take a look and make sure, bed blockers. I feel that, you know, here they are. We've paid taxes, we've paid our health insurance, and what do we become? We become bed blockers. We're not a patient, we're not a person, but we're a bed blocker. And lastly, the third area of concern is when you turn 80, you have to go through some more hoops to get your driver's license renewed. We have to either go to Prince George or Kamloops, and you have to use a computer for your tests. And the question was, how many 80-year-old seniors are computer literate? One person stated that it would cost her over $300 just to obtain their driver's license. It was mentioned that the provincial government is reviewing the present program, but when it'll be changed, we don't know. I certainly hope it's there before my 80th birthday, although, Mitch, I know you think I look 90.
Not at all. Not at all, Ron. And to your point, it seems a shame. People that have given to this community, to this economy, and contributed, and then this is the difficulty that they're put through when they're in their twilight years.
And you know, we have we don't want everything for nothing. We seniors have supported the communities. We've paid our taxes. We still continue to pay our taxes. And the one thing that we don't want to see is we don't want the politicians to remove our services and then still ask for the same amount of money coming in and waste it somewhere else, which I'm going to talk about more in my rumblings.
Fair enough. So our next story, changing gears a little, the Team Canada sledge hockey team is heading to Hammer, Norway for the upcoming World Championships, and they're going for gold. The last time the national team played was at the Vancouver Paralympics, and they came fourth. James Gemmell, a Quesnel local, is new on the team, and it will be his first time suiting up for his country. For Gemmell, the team is to beat the US, and that's the main goal. And after that, he's expecting nothing less than gold for his team. Team Canada is first heading to CFB Borden for a training clinic with soldiers who have been injured overseas. Gemmell is hoping all that discipline and work ethic training will translate to success at the Worlds in Norway.
I certainly hope so. Do you ever see him handle that sledge that they're on? I'm telling you.
It's amazing.
They can do better than I can on skates.
Yeah, no kidding. Me too.
Continuing on with sports, Whistler was the home to the biathlon championships, and where our Quesnel biathletes did quite well. Kara Thiessen and Ryan Eldon were double medal winners. Kara won for gold in the sprint and silver in the mass start events in junior girls. Ryan placed third in the sprint and second in the mass start event in the juvenile division. Medals were also won by Annie Kurta, second in juvenile sprint, and Kirsten Langdon took bronze medal in mass start event for the juvenile division. All in all, it was a successful weekend for the club's athletes as they wrapped up their complete competition schedule for the season. Over to you, Mitch.
All right. Just as a reminder, the Lions questionnaire on what future challenges we can address as a community is in Friday's paper. You can also email me at mitchellsvic@telus.net if you would like the longer version sent by email. Either way, drop off the forms at KMAX once you've finished them, and I will collect them from you there, or bring them to the Caribou Observer. The Lions want your opinion.
Mitch, I've given my opinion. I filled out that yellow sheet, and the top of the list is I think that they should be investing in senior housing. How do you think about that?
That's great, and I'm glad you had your opportunity to say your piece on that. That's why we're doing this, so we can get everyone's opinion.
I'll be watching you guys very, very closely.
Thank you.
And here's another reminder. Free income tax for low-income residents started on March the 7th at the Salvation Army on McLean Street. It runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Wednesday in March and April. Now let's take a look at our community calendar for some events happening in our fair city.
That's great. Now, Ron, are you ready to rumble?
Oh, yes. No thought for the day, but my opinion is still on the seniors. Most of my rumblings were already discussed, but I'm going to continue on anyway. We seem to be, every time we make a turn, the seniors seem to be zeroed in on as an expensive problem. Where do the politicians think most of the tax money and contributions to our community have come from? And still, we're still paying our share, and we don't want our services to be taken away and that money thrown away on some obscure thing. And if you come into Canada as a refugee or flee from some other country and arrive here illegally, guess what? Everything is covered. You don't have to wait for a hip replacement or for any other health issues. And on an average, those immigrants in their first year make more money in a year than a naturalized Canadian citizen receives. Government wants to reduce our services, but don't want to reduce the amount of taxes that we pay. And yet, not once have I seen any municipal, provincial, or federal politician stand up and say, I will take a cut in my salary, in my pension, or I'll cut back on my expense allowance. And I have not heard that. And when is the last time you've heard of a politician or an athlete waiting for medical services? There is an old saying, Mitch, if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. And enough is enough. It is time for us to stand up, have our voices heard. And that means all of you out there, not just the seniors, but your younger people too, because someday you too will be a senior.
That's the truth. Well, that's it for our show today. You can contact us by our new email at qcatv.ca to give us your feedback or give us a tip of any news you think we should check out, or if you'd like to be a sponsor or a volunteer. You can also call Nate at 992-3650 or call the station and leave a message for John McKenzie at 992-8363.
And remember, Q Today is produced by QMAG, the Quesnel Media Access Group. And you can also watch us on the internet on Quesnel Community Access TV. The website is www.qcatv.ca and is run by our colleague, Eddie D'Souza. Mitch.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, our purpose is to get a conversation going for Quesnel, by Quesnel.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.